This lesson is about finding an equation of finding a linear equation given different types of information. In every case, you have to find two things. And in every problem, you're going to start off with a little box. And that box is going to be M equals and B equals. Because once you find M and B, you're ready to write your equation. And you can write it right here. So you put enough space so you can write an equation down there. And then you have your answer and everything in a neat little place on the corner of your problem, okay? So, we know that y equals mx plus b, where m is the what? M is the slope, and b is the what?
Y-intercept.
Y-intercept. Okay? So, in this case, m is the slope. So if they give me the slope and the y-intercept, this is what I call the stupid easy question. Don't get these wrong, because these are just plugging in numbers. So let's say my slope is equal to -4, and my y-intercept equals 2/3. Got it? Do I have my slope?
Yeah.
It's -4. Do I have my y-intercept? It's 2/3. Am I ready to write my equation? Yes. And it's y equals m x plus b. And that would be my equation. If the points are -2, 4, and 6, 2, I'm going to make my little box. M equals B equals. Did they give me the slope? Did the problem give me the slope?
No.
No. Did they give me the y-intercept? No. So I've got to go look for those two things. Once I find those two things, I'm good to go. So, can I find slope if I have 2 points?
Yeah.
We've been doing that. We've been doing difference of the y's over difference of the x's, which is equal to 2 over -8, which is -1/4. So my slope is -1/4. So now I have y equals, we have our slope is -1/4 x, but we don't have our b yet, so we're going to leave the b there. Can anybody think of what we can do with one of these points in order to find b?
Plug it in on the y and x.
Yes, you plug it in as x and y. And I always pick the prettiest point, which in this case would be the 6, 2. Then you don't have the negatives to deal with. But you can pick either one. It does not matter. So I have 2 equals -1/4 times 6 plus b. 2 equals -3/2 plus b. You're going to add 3/2 to both sides, and it's going to be 7/2, I believe, equals b. And now I have my b is 7/2, and who cares if it's ugly? You're just plugging it into an equation, okay? So it's y equals -1/4 x plus 7/2. Now I want you all to grab your calculators for me. The y-intercept is 3, and the point is -4, 6. Do I know either the slope or the y-intercept?
Yeah.
What do you know?
The y-intercept.
Y-intercept is 3. So we got 1. So now we take our y equals mx plus b, and we plug in what we know. We know that y equals mx plus 3, right? So I've used the y-intercept. Now I got to find m. What am I going to use this point for?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. So we have 6 equals -4x plus 3. 6 minus 3 equals -4x. 3 equals -4x. And the slope is -3/4. Are we ready to write our equation? Do we have the slope and the y-intercept? We have y equals -3/4 x plus 3. How are we going to check it? Put that in your y equals screen. Does this have a slope-intercept of 3? Check. And then you just check that point. Make sure it goes through -4, 6. Everybody do that real quick. So, if I know that my point is negative 4, 6, it's right here where this green point is, right? And the slope is negative 3, 4. Negative 3, 4 can be written as negative 3 over 4 or 3 over negative 4. If it's negative 3 over 4, you're going down 3 and right 4.
But they can't, but they're both not negative. Like only one of them's negative.
Only one, yes. If you're doing 3 negative 4, you're going up 3 and left 4. But either way, it's going to be on the same line. So here, do we have the slope or the y-intercept, Jeffrey? Did we give one or the other?
Yes.
Which one did we get?
The M.
M is negative 1/2. Very good. So we have y equals negative 1/2 x plus b. Trey, how do I find b?
You plug in this one.
So 8 equals negative 1/2 times 2 plus b. 8 equals negative 1 plus b. 9 equals b, I believe. What's the equation now?
Y equals negative 1/2 x plus b.
Plus what?
Or 9.
Plus 9. Everybody check that and make sure. Now, they gave you this graph. Can you tell me anything from the graph? Can you tell me the slope or the y-intercept?
Both.
You can do both. The y-intercept is really easy. What is the y-intercept? Where the graph does what?
Hits the Y.
Hits the y-axis. Where does it hit the y-axis? At negative 3. We got the y-intercept. Easy? Easy. Now the slope, there's 2 ways to do it. You find the 2 points that they give you on the graph, which they're going to give you 2 points, and you just do the slope formula, which would be y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, which is 5 over 2, right? Or you look at this graph and you say, how far up did I go? I went up 5 and I went right 2. So it's still 5 over 2. I like the graph way. You just count the blocks.
Yep.
But make sure you count them right.
Count
So,
the swoops.
so now you've got y equals 5/2 x minus 3. And you can graph that in your calculator. And you can make sure it goes through those 2 points and it looks like that. If the graph goes the other way, then you know you've got your slope wrong. You know, kind of like check it out. There's nothing wrong with checking your work on this homework.